Hello, minasan. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good morning. How are you all doing this fine day? Are you guys ready for our first ever? Well, not really first. I mean, technically, alien isolation was. I digress. But anyways, hello, everybody. You guys welcome for the spooky stories today. What's the knife for? The knife? I was eating strawberries. Yes, spooky. Unfortunately, I don't really have a Halloween costume, so I just slap one of these nice little batwing headbands on and called it a day. You guys hear that fire crackling in the back? Hello, Mina-san. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can see some of you are peeking through the chat too. Let's have a nice, relaxing evening, shall we? Damn, I'm so glad I got this couch. Hey, it's not that kind of couch, you stinkies. You're thinking about it, weren't you? You were thinking about it. Do you use PR Live? I don't know what that is, but I use VTuber. What sort of couch? No. No casting couch here. No. It's just a regular old black couch, okay? There's nothing weird about it. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I had some technical difficulties trying to set this up because my model was not moving. It kept giving me alerts on my phone like, yo, you gotta do this and you gotta do this. And I was trying to do it and then I just restarted my phone entirely. You see, I was asking you to attach in your mind. Looks really good. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. I really suck at this. So I hope you guys like my basement. Yeah, let's call it my basement. I believe you showed us a couch before and it looks comfy. Exactly. It is the best comfy couch ever. That's your basement. Yeah! You guys don't have random potions and dead animals in your basement? You're missing out. Why is there blood on that? It's not blood. Those are strawberry preserves. I hear that smells bad. I mean, taxidermy. They're already, all of their organs have been removed and you can just see the outer shell of what they used to be and they're stuffed with fluff. So just call it a very grotesque teddy bear. How many bodies are in the basement? What are you talking about? I don't have anyone down here. I just have books. I just study down here where it's quiet. I like to study here because my fireplace is down here too. The blood on the knife is what's left of Sean. No! Yes, studying. I don't know how many people call her Roach. You guys sent some pretty spooky stories. I actually haven't read them, but I skimmed through some of them. So why don't we begin with something a little... Oh. Eh? What happened to this one? Okay, this page is just blank for some reason. I'll look this up. The Village in the Shadows. Boop, boop, boop. Ah, here we go. Wait, is this the right one? Eh? Why can't I see this one? It's like blank for me. Oh, that's weird. Oh, the creepypasta wiki is weird. Okay, I guess I have to do this. I can't do it in windowed mode, apparently. Oh, my cat. Are those candy corns spinning above your head? Oh, I'm glad you noticed my candy corns! Yes! You see, I've been trying to... I want to use a little bit of magic, you know, you should put some pizzazz on this today's stream, if you will. It's spoopy hours, I see. Good morning. Hello, good morning, Mr. P.O.V.son. I'm quite excited for today. I'm sorry if I'm bad at reading. I'm bad at a lot of stuff, so I'm sure you guys are used to it right now. Anyone mentioned the stairs in the woods? Actually, I kind of want to read that one. That one's really good. That's the story that made me want to do this, actually. It's on Reddit, right? She is say so if she says so. Say so, say so. Reddit. Let me try to find it. But in the meantime, how have you guys been doing? It's been quite... I'd say it's been pretty busy and quiet, huh? I've just been doing work. I mean, granted, I did play Genshin for those 2 days and played a little bit of Apex yesterday, but other than that, I haven't been really playing that many video games other than the ones that I play on Steam. 50 social credit for you? Oh no, I know that meme. Went to BGC yesterday, a lot of people already. Oh, what? What? I guess a lot of people have been vaccinated, huh? Well, as long as everybody is doing it responsibly, I suppose. Oh no, oh no. I think I found it. Ah ha ha ha. Okay. We should start off with something a little shorter, which was sent by you guys. So, I don't wanna... I don't wanna chat for too long, cause... Dear Lord, you guys know I can talk for a long time. Ah, yes. So what story are we reading first? Let's read... Ba 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 ba. How about we read... This one is called Doom Repercussions of the Evil Repost? Is that what it's called? Yeah, apparently that's what it's called. Doom Repercussions of Evil Repost. This is sent by... Let's see, who sent this? I believe this one was... Peter-san! Yes! Oh yeah, you're the first one! Congratulations! I got my vaccine from the doctor's office. With questionable medical training? Oh god, well... I was vaccinated by the government, so... Doom... What's this? Got... Ara? I mean it... Hello! Nathan Club-san! Hello! Welcome. Don't worry, we've just begun. I think I've chatted is stalled, rather. I've stalled long enough so people can, like, get in here. So we can actually begin with the very first story. And this one was sent by Tator-san. Let me just set the mood. Is it loud? It's good, right? Commence the spooky. I don't know if my voice is very good for spooky, scary reading. What's loud? This. You not hear it? How about now? Can you hear it now? The true horror stories are the friends we made along the way. I only hear you in the cars. Oh shit. Really? But you can't hear what I'm hearing. Huh? Well, chotto. Wait, why can't you guys hear this? No yeah, there is no music. Can't hear the fire? You guys can't hear the fire? Mine were government organized vaccines. Here, I'm gonna blast it. Oh, okay, a warning. I'm gonna blast it a little bit. There you go. You don't hear that? Nani sore wa? No. But why? I'm hearing everything perfectly fine. Including... I wonder why that's... Yeah, I can hear everything. Oya, nani sore? Hold on, I think I got an idea what to do. It's audio input, right? No, it's audio... No. Yes. Yes? Yes. How about now? You can hear it now, right? I'm not insane. I've had this on for this entire bit! Ah, 仕方ないわね、本当に。あ、あら。どうでもいいから。Alright. Now we can finally begin our spooky night, evening. Yes, yare yare だぜ。Ah, I think I know. I think I know what happened. The little eye tool was off. I am dumb! You probably should have said... No, it's okay. You guys probably didn't know that there were supposed to be any sounds. I guess the background music for the first part of the stream were just the cars in my street that are passing by. Just piping in to say hello. Alright. We'll begin with Tato-san's... Repercussions of the evil repost. Let's see. Here we go. I join, I immediately hear window sound. Alright, let us begin. John Stalvern waited. The lights above him blinked and sparked out of the air. The demons were in his base. He didn't see them, but he expected them from years now. Oh, shh!
I join and immediately hear window sounds.
Domo arigato, Billy Joe-san. Thank you for the super chat. Super chat, arigatou gozaimasu. but had expected them for years now. His warnings to Colonel Jolson were not listened to, and now it was too late. Far too late. Anyways, John was a space marine for 14 years. When he was young, he watched the spaceships since he said to Dad, "I wanna be in the ships, Daddy." Dad said, "No, you will be killed by the demons." There was a time when I believed him. Then, as he got older, he stopped. Oh my god, that fucking
Sasuga Iora-sama.
Oh, thank you, Billy Joe-san. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Of course I get jump scared by these while I'm reading and not playing Alien Isolation. Anyways. There was a time when I believed him. Then as he got older, he stopped. But in the space station base of the UAC, he knew there were demons. "This is Johnson's." The radio cracked. "You must fight the demons." So John got his plasma rifle and blew up the wall. "He's going to kill us!" said the demons. "I will shoot at him, bro." What
My
is
SPs
this?
always scare you.
Oh my god, thank you, Billy Joe-san. Wait, do they? Actually, yeah, you're right. Your super tacos always fucking jump scare me for some reason. Oh no, you have some sort of power. The cyber demons. Wow, that's kind of cool. Wait a second, I should write that down. Write it down. And he fired the rocket missiles. Missiles? How do you read this? John plasmid at him and tried to blow him up. Then the ceiling fan fell and they were trapped and not able to kill each other. "No, I must kill the demons," he shouted at the radio, said John. The radio said, "No, John, you are a demon." And then John was a zombie. That was the... What is this? And then John was a zombie. I think this is a troll thing. Yeah, it's a troll thing. This is a troll thing. God damn it, Tater. The first one we read was a troll. Where are you reading the stories? I'm reading the stories from the websites that people have sent me. Hi. That was fucking funny. I want to be on the ships, Daddy. That's so funny. Oh, that's so good. Okay, that's a good laugh. Oh, yes. Alright, now for the real deal. Yes. I'm going to read something that I chose next. I hope you guys don't mind. Don't worry, we'll read through the ones that you guys sent, of course. We'll alternate to make it nice and spicy. We reading this scare? I would like to, but this is quite long. I don't know. Yeah, fuck it. You know what? Yeah, fuck it.
I'm fast
Karen?
and shaking right now. I'm spooked.
Thank you, Billy-Joe-san. どうもありがとうございます。サボチャットありがとうございます。Anyways, this is one of my old-time favorite creepypastas, and it's titled Mr. Widemouth. For those who know, cheers, buddy. Mr. Widemouth. During my childhood, my family was like a drop of water in a vast river, never remaining in one location for long. We settled in Rhode Island when I was 8, and there we remained until I went to college in Colorado Springs. Most of my memories are rooted from Rhode Island, but there are fragments in the attic of my brain which belong to various homes we lived in the past when I was much younger. Most of these memories are unclear and pretty pointless. Chasing after another boy in the backyard of a house in North Carolina, trying to build a raft to float in the creek behind an apartment we rented in Pennsylvania, and, so on. But there is this one set of memories which remains as clear as glass, as though they were just made yesterday.
Super scary. Much spook.
Thank you! どうもありがとう、ダーキスバイクリーさん。スーパーチャットありがとうございます。I often wondered whether these memories are simply lucid dreams produced by a long sickness I experienced that spring. But in my heart, I knew they were real. We were living in a house just outside the bustling metropolis of the New Leonard, Maine. Population 643. It was a large structure, especially for a family of trees. There were a number of rooms that I didn't see in the 5 months we resided there. In some ways, it was kind of a waste of space, but it was the only house in the market at that time, at least within an hour's commute to my father's place of work. The day after my 5th birthday, attended by my parents alone. Oh god, that's kind of sad. I came down with a fever. The doctor said I had mononyo. No! Big words make my brain hurt. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Give me a second.
Mononucleosis.
Mononucleosis! Yes. Mononucleosis. Which meant no rough play and more fever for at least 3 weeks. It was a horrible thing to be bedridden. Oh god. It was horrible timing to be bedridden. We were in the process of packing our things to move to Pennsylvania, and most of my things were already packed away in boxes, leaving my room barren. My mother brought a ginger ale and books several times a day, and these served the function of being my primary form of entertainment for the next few weeks. Boredom always loomed just around the corner, waiting to rear its ugly head in the compound of my misery. Holy shit, this is well written. I don't exactly recall how I met Mr. Widemouth. I think it was about a week after I got diagnosed with mono. My first memory of the small creature was asking him if he had a name. He told me to call him Mr. Widemouth because his mouth was large. In fact, everything about him was large in comparison to his body. His head, his eyes, his ears, but his mouth was by far the largest. Oh no. Mr. Widemouth is huge. Just kidding. You kind of look like a Furby, I said. He flipped through one of my books. Mr. Widemouth stopped and gave me a puzzled look. Oh, puzzled look. Furby? What's a Furby? He asked. I shrugged. You know, the toy, the little robot with the big ears. You can pet them and feed them, almost like a real pet. Oh, Mr. Widemouth resumed his activity. You don't need one of those. They aren't the same as having a real friend. I remember Mr. Widemouth disappearing every time my mother stopped by to check up on me. I lay under your bed, he later explained. Jeez.
You can replace mononucleosis with ligma if needed.
Thank you, Billy Joe-san. どうもありがとうね。そのチャットありがとうございます。Oh no! The author has ligma. Who's the author? Ligma balls. Anyways, I gotta stop laughing. I laugh at everything. I'm sorry. I lay under your bed, he explained. I don't want your parents to see me because I'm afraid they won't let us play anymore. We didn't do much during the first few days. Mr. Widemouth just looked at my books, fascinated by the stories and pictures they contained. The 3rd or the 4th morning after I met him, he greeted me with a large smile on his face. I have a new game we can play, he said. We have to wait until after your mother comes to check up on you because she can't see us play it. It's a secret game. After my mother delivered more books and soda at the usual time, Mr. Widemouth slipped out from under my bed and tugged my hand. "We have to go to the room at the end of this hallway," he said. I objected at first, as my parents had forbidden me to leave my bed without their permission, but Mr. Widemouth persisted until I gave in. The room in question had no furniture or wallpaper. It was only distinguished by a feature window opposite of the doorway. Mr. Widemouth darted across the room and gave the window a firm push, flinging it open. He then beckoned me to look out at the ground below. We were in the second story of the house, but it was on a hill, and from this angle, the drop was farther than 2 stories due to the incline. "I like to play pretend up here," Mr. Widemouth explained. "I pretend that there's a big, soft trampoline below this window, and I jump. If you pretend hard enough, you can bounce back up like a feather. I want you to try." I was a 5-year-old with a fever, so only a hint of skepticism darted through my thoughts as I looked down and considered the possibility. That's kind of a long drop," I said. "But that's all part of the fun! It wouldn't be fun if it was only a short drop. If that wears away, you may as well just bounce on a real trampoline, right?" I toyed with the idea, picturing myself falling through thin air only to bounce back up to the window on something unseen by human eyes. But the realist in me prevailed. Maybe some other time," I said. "I don't know if I have enough imagination. I could get hurt. Besides, I'm pretty sick right now." Mr. Widemouth's face contorted into a snarl. But only for a moment. Anger gave way to disappointment. "Oh, if you say so," he said. He spent the rest of the day under my bed, quiet as a mouse. Oh, spooky. The following morning, Mr. Widemouth arrived holding a small box. "I want to teach you how to juggle," he said. "Here are some things you can use to practice before I start giving you lessons." I looked in the box. It was just full of knives. "My parents will kill me!" I shouted, horrified that Mr. Widemouth had brought knives to my room. Objects that my parents would never allow me to touch. "I'll be spanked and grounded for a year!" Mr. Widemouth frowned. "It's fun to juggle with these. I want you to try it." Where are the parents? I think the dad works, assuming since they're moving a lot. I think the dad works around the clock, and mom kind of just pops in to check up on the kid here and there. House is big, so maybe she's, I don't know, cleaning the empty rooms or something. Oh no, wait, they're packing. Right, they're packing. So she's probably packing. That's why the parents are probably not around that much. I can see it happening. Mr. Widemouth frowned. I pushed the box away. "I can't. I'll get in trouble. Knives aren't safe to just throw in the air, you know." Mr. Widemouth's frown deepened into a scowl. He took the box of knives and slid under my bed, remaining there for the rest of the day. I began to wonder how often he was under me. I started having trouble sleeping after Mr. Widemouth often woke me up at night, saying he would put a real trampoline under the window, a big one that I couldn't see in the dark. I always declined and tried to go back to sleep. But Mr. Widemouth persisted. Sometimes he stayed by my side until early in the morning, encouraging me to jump. He wasn't so fun to play with anymore. Mother came to me one morning and told me I had her permission to walk around outside. She thought the fresh air would be good for me, especially after being confined to my room for so long. Ecstatic, I put on my sneakers and trotted out to the back porch, yearning for the feeling of the sun in my face. Something I never... Just kidding. Mom's busy with their special drinks. No, Mom, don't drink the spicy juice. She's drinking the hot sauce of the gods. I followed... Oh, wait. Mr. Widemouth was waiting for me. "I have something I want you to see," he said. I must have given him a weird look because then he said, It's safe. I promise. Oh. Oh, he's aware. I followed him through the beginning of a deer trail which ran through the woods behind the house. This is a very important path, he explained. I've had lots of friends about your age. When they were ready, I took them down this path to a very special place. You aren't ready yet, but one day, I hope to take you there. Oh. I returned to the house, wondering what kind of place lay beyond that trail. Oh, fuck!
Touch grass Iora.
But arigato, Billy Joe-san. Thank you. Hey, I went outside for like 20 minutes after like 6 months of being. 2 weeks after I met Mr. Widemouth, the last load of our things had been packed into a moving truck. Oh, by the way, thank you, Billy Joe-san. I would be in the cab of that truck, sitting next to my father for the long drive to Pennsylvania. I considered telling Mr. Widemouth that I would be leaving, but even at 5 years old, I was beginning to suspect that creature's intentions were not to my benefit, despite what he says otherwise. For this reason, I decided to keep my departure a secret. My father and I went to the truck at 4 a.m. He was hoping to make it to Pennsylvania by lunchtime tomorrow with the help of an endless supply of coffee and 6 packs of energy drinks. That is a heart attack waiting to happen. Do not do that. He seemed more like a man who was about to run a marathon rather than one who was about to spend 2 days sitting still. Early enough for you? My father asked in the hint of sympathy. I nodded and placed my head against the window, hoping for some sleep before the sun came up. I felt my father's hand on my shoulder. This is the last move, son. I promise. I know it's hard for you, as sick as you've been. Once Daddy gets promoted, we can settle down and you can make friends. I promise you that. I opened my eyes and we backed out of the driveway. I saw Mr. Widemouth's silhouette in my bedroom. He stood motionless until the truck was about to turn to the main road. He gave a pitiful little wave goodbye, steak knife in hand. I didn't wave back. Years later, I returned to the new vineyard. The piece of land of our house once stood was empty except for the foundation, as the house was burned down a few years after my family left. Out of curiosity, I followed the deer trail that Mr. Widemouth had shown to me. Part of me expected him to jump out of behind a tree and scare the living bejesus out of me. But I felt that Mr. Widemouth was gone, somehow tied to the house that no longer existed. The trail ended in the new Vineyard Memorial Cemetery. I noticed that many of the tombstones belonged to children. Ah, it's so good! I love that! Oh, such a good creepypasta. Very good. Widemouth always has been an interesting character. Pretty good, yeah. Oh man, so good. It's so unsettling. It doesn't like leap out in your face and say it's a horror story. It terrifies you right at the end. If you imagine hard enough, it's kind of spooky. Hey man, if I had a little Furby looking person like just walking around, waddling, telling me to juggle knives and jump off of the window, I'd be pretty terrified. That was good. It has something that a lot of modern and older ones really lack subtlety. Yeah. You gotta fuck, how do I explain this? Really good horror stories have this just little tiny, it's not in your face. I like it, I prefer it that way. It's like it's slow. And then it's not like ooh, booga booga. I don't know, cheap jump scares like that don't really scare me. I mean, they shock me, sure, but I'm not like scared. It's not scared in a like real sense. Don't go outside. The sun is not your friend. Oh, I am fully aware of that. If I wanted one more crystal with the word hyper realistic. Oh god. That's a mild spooky encounter. But yeah, you should definitely look up on London 1678 or 001 when day breaks. Oh, when day breaks I know about. That's really good. I prefer the type of horror, this like nagging feeling at the back of your mind. Hi! Hi! Well said. Read the story SCP-00 Breaking Dawn. We'll see, we'll see. If it's oh.
Ooga booga.
どうもありがとう、ビリー・ジョンさん。つぶちゃんとありがとうございました。Alright, if we still have time to read more stories, because people sent stories in the thing that I posted, and I would like to give credit to those who actually, you know, sent them there. So, we'll go ahead and read these. Let's see, who is next? Alright, this is by Date Little Song. Oh, I think this one is a personal story. Let's see. This is by Frage. Frage? It's only been an hour. What? Almost as scary as slamming your... What? No, don't do that! Have you seen the new Batman trailer, by the way? No, I have not. Alright. Well, I didn't know where we were still... Hey, I posted it in my... What do you call this? In my schedule. I said to look at the replies, because there's a link. Came in late, but I'm here. What's going on? We're just reading spooky stories. Alright, let's read this personal story by Frage-san. I don't know if you are here, but I'll be reading your story now. There I was. It was about 3:30 a.m. I was on my phone scrolling through some posts, completely forgetting about the world around me. I remember it being around 3:55 when I heard a sound. It was kind of terrifying. I remember hiding under my covers, and the sound of walking in front of my door was heard. At first I thought it was my mom. She would sometimes get up late at night to see if I was asleep or not, but I remember her going to bed early and not coming out for a while. That's what made my heart drop. You would be scared if you were in my spot too, right? You're laying in bed, it's late at night, and something is walking around in front of your door. I was never able to sleep that night after hearing it run off. Oh, run off. Jesus. And now I always close my door. I was quite short, but that's quite the spooky experience. I have one. No, I have probably two. I have two stories that are quite unnerving that happened to me that I can't explain. I don't really. Are ghosts real? I don't know. You know, it's. I feel skeptical, but also a part of me wants to believe they're real because I want an explanation myself. Do you post updates on your Discord? Hi. Of course. Yeah, I also put the link. I put the link on the YouTube community post, on Twitter, and on Discord. They were all there. Is that real? The ghost of Jollibee. Oh god. No. It's okay, here's a weird one. Okay, you guys know I have a lot of pets. But back then, I only had one dog. His name is Rocky. He's still around, don't worry. But I was quite young when this happened, and I still had a shared PC with my brothers. Oh, the horror stories. That's the real horror story. Trying to fight over the PC. Do you know how many fist fights I've gotten into because of sharing that PC? Only one can't be a Iora. No, I was not allowed to have that many pets because I was like freaking really very young. When I would sit on the chair, my feet would not reach the floor. I was that small. But yes, I was quite young. And I remember... Okay. This is what I remember. I went to my room and my dog sleeps in my room. So I went to my room to... I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But I went to my room and then closed the door behind me, right? Like, I closed the door. The door is closed. So I went to the computer. I started, you know, playing whatever the fuck, something on armor games most likely. But I was just playing games on the PC. And then I feel my dog on my leg just kind of like walking around. You know the fur? Like fur. Like kind of brushing up on my leg. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess he's here. So I kind of just ignore it because, you know, I'm gaming, bro. I'm gaming, alright? I'll cuddle you later. But right now, I'm gaming. And then after a while, he didn't stay there for too long. He just kind of just walked around and then left. So after a while, I'm done playing. And then I stand up, go to my room. Mind you, my room was still closed and everybody was like asleep at that time. And no one entered my room. And I open the door and I see my dog sleeping. What was that? My dog did not. What? What was brushing up my leg? That was not my dog. Was that my dog? I want to believe that it's my dog. I do not want a spooky hairy creature in my house, please. Probably hair. No, I actually felt fur. Like hair. Like fluffy hair. I don't know what that was. I still don't know what it is. I just say it's my dog. Maybe, I don't know, he opened the door somehow? I don't know, man. It's just spooky to think about. I still live in the same house. It was a Furby from the first story. No, Mr. Widemouth, please don't eat me. Just a dog, nothing else. Exactly, just a dog. That's it. Just a dog. Okay. I have another scary story. This one's actually quite creepy, I would say. Okay, so you guys know those like family reunions you go to, right? So we went to this family reunion of my uncle. My uncle is a very proud man. He likes he's quite well off. And he likes to flaunt his wealth, so usually we have our family reunions at their house. Because their house is huge! Even has a freaking wine cellar, bruh. But it was a very nice house with a really pretty garden. Surprisingly, they don't have a pool, but they have a really nice backyard. But the house was like around 3 stories. And I have a lot of cousins. So all of my cousins would be like, hey, let's go play games, guys. And all of our uncles would be up in the rooftop deck, drinking and barbecuing and doing karaoke. So the rest of the house is bare. It was, you know, kind of empty. He got back. Yeah. He's pretty loaded. But I always liked going to that house whenever we got invited because they have so many toys. I always got jealous because, you know, oh my god, they have so many toys. But yes. Anyways, me and my cousins decided to play hide and seek. Yes, hide and seek. And alright, I admit I'm pretty competitive and everything. So I was like, I'm gonna fucking win this. I'm gonna win this so hard. I'm gonna win this so good. I was pumped. So I was really excited being there. And I was like brainstorming. I was like, where would they not find me? Let's see. And I thought everybody is scared of the wine cellar. They're not gonna find me. They're not gonna go downstairs and look for me there. So I was like, yeah, baby, let's go. So it was me, my little brother, and my two cousins. And then I don't know if they're my nieces or not, but they were around they were the same age as me. So there was 6 of us. So there's three girls and 3 boys. So I went, they started counting. The entire house was, you know, it's basically free for all. It's that game of hide and seek. Like, if you get found, you have to look for the others as well, because the house is big. So I went ahead and went to the cellar. I went to the corner, like, you know those, I went to the wine cellar. The wine cellar was kind of also the broiler room. I don't know what it's called, but there was this big tank. So I was going to hide there, but I noticed one of my cousins was hiding there already. And then my cousins was like, shh, be quiet. I'm hiding here too. I was like, okay. She didn't say that. She didn't say anything. She just put her finger on her lip. So I was like, okay, I'll just hide over here. And then, you know, it was taking a while. Like a long while for them to actually try to find me. So I was just sitting there in the dark. I was kind of scared, but I was like, I want to win. Fuck this. Fuck my fear. I want to win. I came here to win. And now, finally, all of them, all 5 of them entered the cellar and opened the lights. And they're like, oh, there you are, we stopped playing. I was like, what? And then I looked at one of my cousins that I thought was hiding with me. Like, what the hell are you doing there? Aren't you hiding over there? I was like, no, I wasn't. I was hiding upstairs. I was like, what? Who the hell was hiding with me in the cellar? I cried. I didn't play anymore. I just went to my dad and didn't play anymore because I got so scared. I don't know, man. That's sus. I saw somebody there. Someone's pranking me. Someone's fucking pranking
Iora
me.
as a true winner.
Oh, thank you, Billy Joe-san. Oh my god. Arigatou gozaimasu. But damn it. There's so many. Yeah, those are the 2 instances that I'm like, what just happened? There's gotta be some sort of explanation here. Probably played one more game without finding you first. Look on the bright side, you did win. Yeah, I won so hard I cried. Yeah, I don't like going to that house anymore. Every time they're like, oh, we're gonna have a reunion. Oh, I'm not going. I don't want to go. You probably lost your mind trying to figure that one out. Yeah, cause what I didn't. Okay, the big tank thingy was blocking, so I couldn't see because I was hiding near the cupboard. I didn't want to touch the wine because they looked expensive, so I didn't want to hide there. So I was just kind of hiding there, and then I gave up, so I sat down. Yeah, it was weird because my cousin never spoke to me, and I didn't really, instigated a conversation either because, I want to win. I don't want to make noises. But it was weird seeing the cousin that I thought was hiding there in the broiler room with me. What? No. The cousin. No! I was closer to the door. No one left. So I was in the assumption that both of us were there. That's why I wasn't really scared. that much because I was like, I'm not alone down here. There's a superstition in the Philippines that if you play hide and seek at night, a ghost will probably join. And there's a chance you get sick? Did I get sick? I don't remember. I kind of like forced that memory out of my brain. Winning so hard you cry is the same energy as crying when you read. What? She shit herself. If they did live in the hiding spot, go somewhere else. They didn't eat you out. Wait, what? They didn't rat you out. Not eat. Oh my. Oh no, they're eating me out. I don't want that. Please, no. You had your eye on the door. No, I was closer to the door. Cause okay, the downstairs. How do I explain what this looks like without showing? Okay, the stairs. Underneath the stairs, there's this little cupboard. You cannot go inside the cupboard. But I was just hiding there by the stairs. It's like when you go in, your peripheral vision, you see the rest of the room, not like directly closer to you. It's kind of hard to see what's closer to you. You get it? So I was just like, yeah, baby. I'ma win this so hard. I'ma win this so good. Sean, hi. I hope you had a good nap. Nap. Okay, anyways. You'll still. Sorry. There you go. Personal experiences. Unexplained personal experiences. Okay. This next one is submitted by the man of class. Here it is. You guys ready? That one time you sent Smentai to the wrong person. Absolutely terrifying. Riveting. Yep, there we go. Alright, next one. Okay, this one's quite long. This is the village in the shadows. This one was blank media. Are you here, blank? Koitemasu? No, it's too small. Okay, I have to read it like this. Atatata. Absolutely riveting. What is this called? The Village in the Shadows. September 3rd, 1692. Northern Ridge Village stood as it always had. Apart from most of the civilized world, it was a simple, self-contained community consisting mostly of farmers and simple village folk. On this late afternoon, bathed with the orange light of the setting sun, the village looked like a painting that a Renaissance artist would dream of crafting. The sun glinted off the high cross of the Catholic Church and shone across the crowd in the streets. In a field, the farmer wipes the sweat off his brow, savoring a hard day's work before the true nails of the harvest would ravish him. Outside, women are taking their washes off the lines, humming a happy tune. The local smith would bang his hammer one final time before closing up his shop. The laughter of children could be heard through the streets, as the young always managed to savor the joy as well as they could. For in this little village, one simple truth lay supreme. Sneeze! Why? No! I was about to sneeze and it never came! God damn it. Oh, that is so annoying. Anyways, the folk of the village were blissfully unaware of the hardships of the New World. They did not know nor care who sat upon the British throne. However, there's one thing every member of the Northern Ridge village knew, and that was you never went out at night. For this village sat at the base of the Carpathian Mountains, and the shadow of those peaks held more than just the cold and the dark depths. While most of the world was evolving and growing to believe that true evil lied within the murderers or thieves at heart, the people of Northridge knew much greater and more ancient evils. There were more graves in the town born of this evil than disease or the passage of time, and many of those graves lay empty. The evil that plagued this town did not— Ow! I hit my head on my microphone. The evils of this town... Wait, where was that? The evil that plagued this town did not leave bodies for the families to mourn, nor did they would want to. Yes, this village knew evil, and evil knew them very intimately. A group of children ran past Town Square, giggling and tossing a doll around. The owner of the doll, little Gracie, pleaded with the other children to give her doll back, but the other children were reluctant to give up their fun. They tossed the doll just over the small girl's reach, delighting in her frustrations. "Come on, guys, this isn't funny anymore," Gracie yelled. "Really then? Maybe you should come over here because from where I'm standing, it's completely hilarious," her older brother, Matt, God damn it, Matt, replied. One of the older girls rolled her eyes at Matt. "Come on, give her the doll. It's getting late. We need to get home." Matt heaved a heavy sigh. "Fine, here you go, you little baby." Matt tossed the doll in the air towards his baby sister. However, a strange and powerful gust of wind pulled the doll like a kite, and it landed several feet away from just on the outer edge of town, past the graveyard. What the? That thing got yeeted! What? So he tossed it in the air and was strong enough to carry the doll across a graveyard. Damn. The wind stopped as quickly as it began, and with the sound of laughter stopping, the children all stood frozen as the sun sank beneath the church steeple, casting an early evening shadow over the field. They stood in silence, with the only sound being their ragged breaths panting out of their gaping mouths. "Go get it, Matt, please!" Gracie pleaded. "No way! I'm not going out there when the sun is going down," Matt said, with almost an equal panic to Gracie. The older girl walked over to Matt and grabbed his arm roughly. "This is your fault. You took the joke too far and you're going to fix it. Now get out there and make it quick. We shouldn't have been out here in the first place." Matt gulped audibly, but nodded in agreement. God damn it, what, just kidding. Okay, What kind of wind carry a doll like that? The yeet wind. Matt began to slowly move through the graveyard like a man walking towards his death. He began to feel like Jack walking through the giant's lair. One wrong step could spell his doom. The sun started to cast long shadows from the tree branches. "Don't step on the shadows," he thought to himself. "If you do, they can use their powers to drag you to their lair." With his mind so encased in fear, he couldn't even remember if it was true or something that children made up. The whole world was silent, and even the breath in his lungs didn't make noise, as if it was too afraid to wake the dead. His eyes scanned the many tombstones that surrounded him. So many died so young, all for breaking the village one rule that he himself was close to breaking right now. He glanced at the tombstone and his blood ran cold, as he could sworn he saw his own name written up on it, and that the date was this one. He closed his eyes and silently mouthed, "It's not real. It's not real." He opened his eyes and saw the name that wasn't his own, and the date was 2 years prior. He was closing in on a doll now. Dude, why would you do this? Just fucking book it. Book it to the doll and book it out of there. A few more feet and he could grab it. Then he would run. Why not just run towards it and run out? That'll be saving more time. Efficiency, Matt. Efficiency. Sorry. where they were very well could be if he didn't hurry. He took one final step and began slowly reaching for the doll. Just grab it and run! Grab it and never tease Gracie again! He pleaded to his shaking body. His fingertips touched the doll's hand, and as soon as he did, he felt the doll move. Whoa, okay. Well, yeet the doll away again. The terror ripped through Matt, and he turned and ran like the wind. Don't let it get to me! He prayed as he ran. Finally, he made it back to his friend. I felt it move. The damn thing is alive! The older girl gave him a smack on the head. Of course it moved, you little chicken. Look out there. Matt slowly turned and saw the wind was once again blowing, only in the opposite way. The wind has moved the doll, and he was screaming of devils. Please, just run back and grab her, Gracie pleaded. Matt shook his head frantically. Not a chance, sister. Not tonight. I promise I will go back and get your doll tomorrow. If it's gone, I'll buy you a new one. Hell, I'll make you a new one personally. Right now, we need to get indoors, or those things will be the least of our problems. I mean, what the... Or those things... What? You mean that thing will be the least of our problems. Never mind, abort. Leave the doll. The older girl looked at Gracie. Listen, I hate to agree with him, but he is right. We've been out here too long. The children ran off with only Gracie left to look out at the darkening graveyard road. Her little doll, Heidi, lay so close yet so far. She stared at the doll as the leaves swirled around its felt body. For the smallest of moments, the little girl almost thought she saw the doll sit up and start waving at her. What the fuck? That's what all she needed to turn her tail and run home. Oh, I was kind of hoping Matt would get yeeted. All across the town, people were moved into a frenzy. The wind had turned stronger and far more ominous. Father Gregor locked up the church and stared into the forest at the base of the mountain. They were coming tonight. What? Who's coming? Come? Of that much he was certain. The villagers had been careful as of late. The bee... Oh, that was wet. Hold on, excuse me.
Glue.
Sean! どうもありがとう。私はちゃんとさ。Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the spray. Here, let me wipe it. Sorry. I get sniffles in the morning. I don't know why. Should probably ask the doctor about that. But anyways. The beasts would come growing hungry. Wait, the beasts would be growing hungry. And the hungrier they got, the darker and more clever they became. Though he never could go through with such a thing himself, he began to understand how his ancestors might have offered a sacrifice to please such a beast. Oh no. This idea was abhorrent, to say the least. However, the thought of a peaceful night's sleep was damn tempting. Damn tempting. Don't do it, Gregor! The streets emptied as the closed signs were flipped. Doors were locked and crucifixes were placed in almost every window. The town is cleared and only fallen leaves moved in the streets. The last rays of sun sunk beneath the horizon, and a blanket of darkness spread over the sky. The village of Northridge, a town that is normally full of love and laughter, was put to rest. For in the hours of darkness to the town, no longer became to its people. It belonged to them. So there's more than one beast? So...
Half-decent parents can prevent all these stories.
どうもありがとう、ビリージョーさん。For the super chat ありがとうございます。Some kids are just gonna be kids, I suppose. But mommy, I can't sleep without Heidi! Gracie pleaded with her mother as she was being put to bed. Gracie! You little shit, just kidding. Her mother sat on the bed and stroked her daughter's hair. I know. I'm sorry, baby, but you're getting too big. Wait, what? I know, I'm sorry, baby, but you're getting to be a big girl now, and I know you're stronger than that. You just need to turn over and close your eyes. Before you know it, the morning sun will be streaming through the window and everything will be alright again. Her mother soothed. But what about Heidi? She's all alone out there. Alone with them. Gracie said, and a shiver went through her body at the mere mention of them. Her mother laughed and continued to stroke her hair. Don't you worry about Heidi. They would have no interest in her. In morning light, we will go and grab her and she will still have that big smile on her face. Then you can smack your brother upside the head with her. Gracie laughed, and with that, her mother got up to the exit. Mommy, why do we have to stay here? There are other places in the world, places without evil. Gracie asked. Her mother lowered her eyes and shook her head. I know this is hard to understand, but the evil is out there no matter where you go. It can come in any form, even those you trust. If you let evil push you around, then you let it win, its wickedness will spread. We have to stand firm against it to show that the light is stronger than the darkness. Besides, long as we are careful, they have no power over us. We hold the power, and even they know that. Gracie paused for a moment, then nodded. She wished her mother good night as she left the room. Gracie's mother was left to ponder her own words that even she didn't fully believe. Oh yeah. Annyeong! Are the monsters in the shadow? Maybe they're like the zombies in... like... What is that? I Am Legend. Oh, hello, Iori-san. Oh, hello, Joshua. Did I miss the stairs? Nope! Stairs will be the finale. The night was full now, and this village, no one lit their lamps. No candle flickered in the dark. The only light was that of the waning silver moon that shone through Gracie's window, bathing her in its cold, distant glow. Gracie lay awake, thinking about the world of the night. From time to time, travelers would pass through this town and pick up supplies for their journey. They would tell tales of a world where men and women and children could walk through the peaceful night. She marveled at the wonders of bonfires, lanterns, lantern dances, and even midnight strolls. To her, this idea was far-fetched, as traveling through the stars they spoke with such conviction, she couldn't help but dream. She let out a sigh, for even at 5 years old, she knew that a world without fear of the night is a world she would never see. Oh god. But in I Am Legend, Will Smith was the real monster. I liked Will Smith, he was cool. Maybe the real evil was the friends we made along the way. Imagine, none of this would have happened if Matt wasn't teasing his... Yeah, imagine if you were not a douchebag. She had turned over and could feel herself slipping into the whirl of dreams when the sound of scratching came to her window. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no. The sound froze her blood and caused her to shake uncontrollably. You can't get in because I say so. If you ask, I'll say no. So since you're not welcome here, then please go. 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 Gracie sang into the night. It was a song taught by her mother. Oh, they're vampires! Right? Right? Vampires, they would... You need to... Where's the garlic then? Yeah. Oh, kill my eye. Alright. I find the night to be quite fun, but it could just be me. Don't worry, I am also a night owl. I stay up. I like the night more than the morning. It's more quiet. However, the chant did little good for her because now The scratching continued and got louder. I said you can't come in, so please go! Gracie yelled through her chattering teeth. Oh, please. Gracie, I'm so cold out here. A small but sweet voice came from outside rang. Oh. Gracie's eyes widened, for she knew that voice. It was partially her own, but she knew the true owner was Heidi. It was the voice of Heidi. It was the voice Heidi would use when they talked to each other at night. Gracie turned in her bed and faced the window. There, standing in the narrow ledge, was Heidi, scratching at the glass. Heidi, you came back, Gracie said in an excited tone. Yes, but why did you leave me out there? I was all alone and was so scared. Why would you leave me like that? Heidi whined, and it sounded like she had tears in her eyes. I'm so sorry. It was me and old Matt that did it, Gracie replied with a scorn in her voice. Heidi issued a laugh that actually unnerved Gracie. Oh, I know. Trust me. You and I are going to get him back. I have many ideas on that. Gracie became afraid again. She had no doubt that it was Heidi out there, but something had changed. Her perpetual smile that used to bring her joy now caused Gracie to break out in goosebumps. The doll's eyes normally looked completely vacant. Now it had intelligence and just a hint of malice twinkling in them. Oh, Gracie, I'm so cold out here. Won't you please let me in? Oh, wait, hold on. Shit. Oh, give me a second. Choto. Hold on, I have to do something. Sorry about that. Udon was doing naughty stuff in the background. Yeah, I think he's okay now. This is where the Omori plot begins. No! F-E-R-U-B, miss! I was eaten by the vampire! Little did they know I'm also a vampire. Atashi vampire, ino suchatte ino momuri momi nare waru iko dare na mashirai na ikai na hakitai hara zettai ikeru yo.
F. Iora, you will be missed.
どうもありがとうビリージョン散歩だ。スープチャットありがとうございました。Udon is a naughty. Yes, very. Anyways, Gracie froze again for those one words she could never obey at night, no matter what. You know I can't, Heidi. You know the rules as much as I do. The doll seems to twitch for a moment, as someone older and wiser would have known to be associated with rage. The doll righted itself, and if possible, its grin grew wider. That's okay. You don't have to let me in. Just open the window and pull me inside. Then we can be together and you never have to sleep alone again. Oh. You only got boss again. Gracie gulped and looked hopeful. One quick grab, and she could have her doll back and they could go off in dreamland together. Heidi would stop bad dreams, like she always did. Gracie got out of bed and began to tiptoe to the window. That's it, Gracie. Prove the mean old Matt that you're braver than he is. Oh, how embarrassed he would be in the morning. You could hold that over his head forever, just like he held me over yours. Gracie smiled. She could see Matt's face filled with shock and shame. She couldn't wait to tell his friends, especially the girl down the street who even Gracie knew he fancied. Come on, open the window, and you and I can play together all night. Gracie undid the window hatch. No, Gracie, you dumb bitch. Sorry, she's 5. I could feel the cold breeze hitting her face. She had never felt the night breeze, and it felt wonderful in a stuffy room. Take my hand, Gracie, and we'll be together forever. The doll's final words seemed to echo in Gracie's mind, and with no fear or hesitation, she reached out and grabbed Heidi's felt body. As she closed her hands around the doll, another hand closed around hers! Well, Gracie's fucking dead. With a surprising strength, the hand pulled Gracie right out of the window. Gracie looked down and issued the loudest scream her lungs could produce. The creature belonging to the hand was the most horrible thing she's ever witnessed. She'd heard stories from other children about what they looked like. They'd say horrible things try to scare her, and yet none of them came close to the fiend that lay before her. The creature was a woman, or at least it used to be. Long flowing black hair, or what remained of it was the darkest and yet dullest gray she had ever seen. Her skin was peeling away in several places, revealing not only her bones, but also the manner of terrifying creatures crawling under the surface. Maggots, spiders, and even centipedes. Okay, maggots I can understand. Spiders and centipedes, a little over the top. The woman's fingers were long.
X gonna get ya.
どうもありがとう、ショーンさん。For the donation. Thank you. Oh no. Oh, the woman's fingers were long but crooked, as if they had been smashed with a hammer over and over again. Ew. Her mouth opened into two large incisors fangs poked through her blackened gums. However, it was the eyes that frightened her the most. They were not blazing red as she has been told, but jet black orbs that pierced into her soul. Gracie saw every nightmare she'd ever had swimming in those depths. Forever. The nightmare lady echoed once more. She stuffed Gracie under her arms and leapt into the night. It seems like it is vampires. Matt awoke at Gracie's scream. In an instant, he knew that was not a scream from some kind of dreamed nightmare, but it was a very real one. Where the fuck are the parents at this time? If I heard my child scream, any form of scream, I would be bolting into their room. Oh man, I guess mother is trying to drink her spicy juice again. He got out of bed and ran as soon as his feet touched the ground. He sprinted through the house, knocking things over, but not caring one bit. He had to get his sister. Nothing else mattered. He burst through the door and his eyes went straight to the window. No! He thought to himself. Gracie was young but no fool. She would never open the window for them. Why, Gracie? Why? His thoughts were broken by a horrifying cackle outside. His eyes narrowed and he could see his sister being carried away by some creature. All at once, nothing else mattered. Not the village, not the rules, not his own safety. Only his sister mattered now. Aw, okay, that's kind of sweet. No!
It was Count Chocula all along.
It's Count Chocula? Chocula? Hold on. Let me give you a little bit of... Pouring myself a nice drink. It's not the spicy drink, alright. It's the sweet, Sweet iced tea, baby. Thank you, Billy Johnson. Count Chocula. Do you guys think vampires are scary? I think they're kind of hot. Is that bad? I'm not scared. I mean, heck yeah, kill me, bro. What? 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 What do you mean? What? Got it with you. Yeah, breaker! Let's go! I'm not alone. Kinda hot, yeah. Twilight said they're hot. No, not Twilight, but just like, I don't know, man. Vampires. Something about them. Want me to prove you wrong? I'm sure there's different versions of the vampire. I don't find them scary, to be honest. Yeah, me either. But anyways. How long is it? Okay, we're almost done. Matt ran and leaped out of the window and landed on the ground below. The fall from the second story shattered his left leg. Jesus! And he knew it was broken, but it didn't matter. He hobbled through the streets, chasing after the sound of Gracie's scream. Help her! He shouted at the top of his lungs. Please, for the love of God, somebody help her! But he knew it would be useless. The people of this village would not leave their homes at night. Not for the world itself. He was alone. The fight for Gracie's life. So be it. Matt ran as fast as he could on his broken leg. Even if they cut off both of his legs, he would crawl for her. He made it out of town at the edge of the woods, and to his surprise, he saw Gracie standing there. She stood at the edge of the tree, shaking from head to toe. Gracie, thank God. Come to me, let's run home. Gracie did not move, but stood there shaking and panting. Come on, sister. Nothing is going to hurt you now that I'm here. Please come to me. Please. Matt. Gracie. Sorry, Gracie. Matt begged. Then there he saw it. Barely made it out by the moonlight. Dark gray hand on her shoulder. Then out of the darkness he could see multiple pairs of jet black eyes. They were the eyes. It shouldn't stand out in the dark, but nothing in nature was that black as these eyes that were staring at him. Matt let out a deep breath. Please, let go of her. I offer my life for hers. I'm much bigger and more full of blood than she is. Matt begged. At the word blood, he could hear a loud puffing sound. Just kidding. The sound of the predator scenting prey. In that moment, he could almost make out an outline of a gray face in the dark. Matt got to his knees and lowered his head. I offer my life in service to you. Feed on me, turn me, torment me for eternity. Just let her go, please. Aw, what a good Oni-chan. Now, you shouldn't be bullying your sister. Now you gotta sacrifice your entire life.
Vampires can be killed by a sharp stick. Weak.
Imagine being murdered by a sharp stick. With his head down, he couldn't see, but the sound of creatures panting grew louder and louder. Then there was a natural silence, as if the universe itself held its breath. Then out of the silence come a cold and inhumane male voice. No. Okay, I can't do a guy voice, sorry. The voice rang, and Gracie was pulled into the forest. Gracie's scream rang through the night. Matt screamed back and got his feet to run after her. A pair of strong arms wrapped around Matt's chest and held him back. No, boy, you mustn't go there. Matt knew that voice very well. It was the voice of Father Gregor. I know how you feel, child. Believe me, but there's nothing more you can do. Matt continued to struggle and to grunt, but it was no use. Finally, the sound of his sister's scream faded into the night. That was the night that would shape Matt's life forever. That was the night his sister was taken by the vampires. Wah! That was pretty good. Quite long, but really good. Thank you, Blanco Media-san. Cool story. Rip Gracie. Ah, no, Gracie! Shut up! Oh no, big strong arms! The origin story for the vampire hunter. Oh, that's actually kind of cool if you think about it. Oh shit! My fire! Okay, there we go. My fire is back. There goes my hero. I think that's it for all of the submitted stories. Please. Watching is fine. Yeah, this is like media. Okay. Hi. There we go. Now. Can you try to read? Can you try to read in Chill's voice? Fine, I will. Fine. Oh! Okay. I'm gonna admit, I did write some stories. Fuck. Okay. Am I really going to do this? I wrote some stuff. Okay, you guys know I write poetry already. Edgy poetry. But I used to write horror stories as well. Would you guys like to have a listen to one of mine? Yes! God damn it! Alright, as a request of the amazing and lovely Oats, I will try to read one of these. I'll try to read this one. Reread this one with Chill's voice. There I was. It was about 3:30 a.m. I was on my phone scrolling through posts, completely forgetting about the world around me. I remember it being around 3:55 when I heard the sound. It was terrifying. I remember hiding under my covers and the sound of walking in front of my door. I can't! It's so funny! I can't. At first, I thought it was my mother. She I can't. Fuck. Okay. She would sometimes get up late at night to see if I was still asleep or not. But I remember her going to bed early and not coming out for a while. That's what that son of a bitch. I can't. That's what made my heart drop. You would be scared too if you were in my spot too, right? You're in bed, it's late at night, and something is walking around in your front door. I was never able to sleep that night after hearing it run off, and I always close my door now. I thought it was my mother. I'm so sorry. Oh God, I'm crying. Oh God. Okay. Oh God, that is fucking funny. Anyways. Hi. Alright, I need to find the place where... Let me skim through these. Which ones are great? Na 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 Put this and send it to the daily dose of internet. Pepe hands. Pepe hands. Oh god, this is quite cringy, isn't it?
You know who went to bed early? My mom.
どうもありがとう、ビリードさん。どうもありがとう。Thank you for the super chat. Super chat. ありがとうございました。Ah, here's a short one. Next time, be sure. Have you ever entered a room with a vampire in it? No, not those overrated sexy ones. Those vampires who have gritting teeth, long bones that stick out of its rough dark gray skin, black dry tongues, and overly large hands. Have you ever felt so helpless that you just stand there, unable to move, as it stares at you with its pitch black eyes? So overwhelmed with the situation, you're hypnotized not to move? Have you ever tried to squirm as it approaches you slowly, opening its mouth, revealing its sharp white teeth, leaning down at you? Have you ever felt its giant hands around your head, feeling its claws slowly dig into your skull, using its other hand to tilt your head? Have you ever felt a hiss on the nape of your neck, its warm breath ready to bite, but instead sticks out its tongue? And what the fuck? Why did I write it like this? You feel it on your cheek, slowly working its way up. Then it plunges some dark, slick sludge inside your throat, savoring the moment. Have you ever thought to yourself, maybe, just maybe, some vampires don't eat blood, but memories? So let me rephrase the question. Have you ever entered a room and forgot what you were supposed to do there? Bada bing, bada boom. What do you guys think?
Hot.
Hot? Hell yeah! Vampire could. Spookify. Nice story, character. Thank you, Jicampo-san. Domo. I do. Thank you, Billy-do-san. I like writing these kind of things where it's the twists are at the end. We forgot. Who hasn't entered a room and just been like, what the fuck did I do there? Exactly. Maybe it's a vampire that eats memories. Oh man, ooh. I got that little heebies for that one. Which is kind of... Wait. Where is this? Aha! Wait, hold on. Let me try to find another one. Because I know I... Wipe sweat. It's getting spicy. Naruhodo. Oh no. What is... Shit. Crap. What is my old Wattpad? I know my Wattpad used to have like a bunch of those. Alright, well give me a second. Let me...
Wipe sweat, it's getting spicy.
I want that vampire. Maybe. Oh yeah, I want a dark, spooky, scary vampire skeleton with gray skin and dark eyes just puke black ink in my mouth. Hell yeah! Wait, why isn't it letting me? Okay, it's not letting me log in. Demo, nande? Himika! Let me access. I know I have lots of stories, but I never published them. They were just like sitting in the editor. Because I was quite shy. And one of my friends told one of my teachers about my Wattpad. And then I was just like, ah, time to delete everything. Scrub it down, boys. Scrub it down. Eh? No! There you go.
Even more hot.
Even more hot? どうもありがとう。ただ、スポチャ。スポチャとありがとうございます。リリージョーさん。Meow? It's funny how the description of vampires looks fit to the T. And it's... Oh. Alright, here we go. Yes! I got access! Oh yeah, baby! Alright, this one's a good one. I'm quite proud of this one. Here it is. Ahem. Okay, I should preface this is a little more sensitive. There are some themes here that are pretty serious and very real, and it's very sad. And I don't want to seem insensitive about the situation that happens. You know, this is centered around a very real and disheartening topic, I will say. Okay, so I'm just giving you guys a warning. It is quite... Oh god. Look. Wow, Chad is being raunchy. Oh man. Thank you. Excuse me. But seriously though, this is around a very real and sensitive topic. So, just a disclaimer right there. Anyways, I didn't expect to have the same interests as him. I didn't expect for us to be such good friends. And I didn't expect for us to be planning this sort of thing. He came by my house today at approximately 9:15 a.m. He brought a bag that was... he brought a black duffel bag and proceeded to my room. So, do you have it? I asked him. Yeah, his lock hasn't changed since I last opened it. He replies with tense eyes. That's good. What's wrong? You look a little pale. I walked towards him. No, it's just that, shit, are we actually doing this? He looked at me with a serious expression. Yes, we are. Now get your shit together and let's go. I asked. I told him firmly. Walking past him, exiting my room. Hey, wait up! He ran, tailing behind me. We left my house and proceeded to school. Everyone was already at the gym at that time. Oh, crap. We're late. He said nervously, tapping his foot. It doesn't matter, I said as I looked at him. Seeing him being tense and shaking slightly, I tried to reassure him. Look, if you're not gonna do this, I will. I stretched out my arm, asking for the bag. He moved back a bit, and his grip on the bag tightened. No. I can do this. I'm just... Oh, shit. I'm just really nervous. So, the plan is just... get in there and shoot everybody, right? And you'll guard me and make sure I won't get hurt? He said, whispering with his eyes... Oh, he said whispering, his eyes burning with passion before I could answer. I noticed his eyes widened as the gym door opened. Our teacher went out and he seemed displeased. Why are you both late? I thought we made it clear that there are no students at... His sentence was interrupted with a loud bang. A loud sound occurred before our teacher fell down, dead. The gym was silent, and then horrific screaming of panicking students roared. He held a gun in his hand, smiling at the corpse he just murdered. That's what you fucking get for failing me, he smirked. Shit! Stick to the plan and get in there! I signaled him before he went inside, enraged and shooting aimlessly. I heard the gunshots. 9 bullets. And I heard 7 go off. I ran inside behind him and pushed him down. I punched his face before taking the gun from him and shooting him. I shook in horror and stared at the people who just witnessed what just happened. They all started cheering and smiled at me. They called me a hero. I smiled. All according to plan. That was pretty serious, but sorry. Yeah, it was pretty serious. And your friend thought it would be a good idea to reveal this to a WAP. I don't know. Ah, shikatanai wa ne. But yeah. What do you guys think? Talk about betrayal. It's a pretty good short story. Thank you! It was good, thank you. Imagine being a teacher reading this and I would get scared. I loved it. Pretty good. Very good indeed. Rather sussy. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry about the topic. I think I wrote this when I was like... Oh, shoot. I think I was 13 or 14? I was a really edgy kid. Oh, man. Same, Billy. Oh, I'm sorry, Billy. Woman. Sumimasen deshita. Why did Pumped Up Kick started? That I listened to that song and I never realized what it meant until someone pointed it out and I was like, oh no. That's Florida Man. Florida Man, you're here?
As an American, this seems pretty realistic.
Thank you, Billy Joe-san. Domo arigato for the super chat. I think it wasn't really that rampant, I believe. I think I wrote this because I heard of that anime YouTuber? That was pretty scary. I think I wanted to like put my thoughts in there without being too political. Cause I don't really like dabbling in politics. I mean, wouldn't the second guy also be under suspicion? I suppose so. But I'm glad that you guys at least enjoyed it. Politics get annoying. Everything is political nowadays. Even not liking politics is political now. Wait, what is this one? The user is not found. This no longer exists. Oh. Oh, well, shit. Alright, now... It's almost... Oh, shit. It's almost 1 p.m. I think we can squeeze in a few more short stories before we end with the big stairs. Politics are more terrifying than any monster to me. Chill that! Still a good story. Thank you. Saw it say it. Uwu, so no one can take you seriously. Uwu. You don't like politics. That means you support insert the thing I don't like here. Recently, I believe there's a recent Trash Taste episode where they dabbled in it, and my exact I feel the same way Joey, the anime man, said in that podcast. He said the only reaction to anything political is, oh, that's bad, or oh, that's nice, or that's good. Those are the only two reactions I usually have. Trash Taste, hi! Quite a big fan of those boys. Grant, the big baby man. Hi. is a horror story enough to even worse as a musical. Let's see, do I have more? Oh, etonari. Where did I put that? Is it this one? Aha! Okay, this one. I think this one you guys will like. Another disclaimer. This one's a little serious as well. I was venting a lot in my writing, so sumimasen if this is a little too edgy. Anyways, I woke up sitting in an empty room. Everything was cold to the touch. The atmosphere was blue and pale. I blinked and watched my breath visualize in front of me. I was so confused in what had happened, or why I was there. I stood from my place and looked around. It was very dim. The only source of light was this hole in the wall. I walked towards it and placed my hand on the cool surface. A shiver went down my spine. Upon further inspection, it wasn't a hole at all. It was a small keyhole, like those old-timey ones. And in front of me was a door. I hurriedly patted around and grabbed a knob and twisted it. The sight behind the door gave me relief. I was just in my house. I went downstairs, but something didn't feel right. I feel these pangs in my chest and throat. It was very sore, and it was oddly cold. I walked over to my window to check if it was snowing. The only thing that met my eyes when I looked out was the moon shining ever so brightly in the dark sky. I sighed softly and looked around the streets. It was empty, and you could barely see anything in the street due to the misty fog entangling itself through the what is this? The night lights in the street. You can still see the faint glow of the street lights outside though. Looking around even more outside, I heard no noise. It must be really late. Before turning my back, my eyes met this blurred and shadow-like silhouette standing near a lamppost, directly across my house. My eyes started staring. It stared back to me, giving an eerie, sick feeling in my stomach. And then a sharp pain enticed my heart, causing me to grab it in discomfort. I closed my eyes in agony and the agony that dwelled in my body. I hurriedly run to the bathroom in hopes of retrieving some sort of painkiller to ease this torment that I felt. But as I touched the smooth metal knob, my eyes widened. In a split second, I saw someone through the reflection in the knob. It seemed to be standing to my right, next to the vase I placed there. I quickly turned towards the direction and saw nothing but pottery placed on a small wooden table. Another pang struck my chest and I immediately opened the bathroom door. I was surprised how it welcomed me. Shards of my mirror lay on the sink and on the floor. Noticing my medication has been violently thrown around, pills of different shapes and sizes was on the sink, floor, tub, everywhere to be exact. I quickly tried to clean everything, forgetting about the reason why I was there in the first place. While cleaning the sink, I placed usable pills in their containers and placed them inside the cabinet, closing it with the broken mirror that was in front of me. I noticed my makeup was all ruined. Mascara flowed down my cheeks and I looked like I'd been crying. I quickly opened the faucet and washed my face. I stared at the water slowly disappear into the drain, then looked at the broken mirror. I saw something behind me again. It was a tall man, wearing a long black coat. He was also wearing a big black hat that covered his face. This scared me. I yelped in fear and quickly turned to see if it was actually there, and it wasn't. I ran out of the bathroom, headed straight to the kitchen. It was getting harder to breathe, which surprised me yet again. Broken glass and plates were shattered everywhere, and the smell of alcohol wrapped around the room. I found so many empty bottles of different kinds of liquor. I'm so confused. What happened? I don't understand. My throat went dry. I sighed and took a glass of water and drank it. Suddenly, the intake of the water caused my throat to get an immense amount of pain. I groaned loudly and clasped my throat tightly. I placed a palm on the kitchen counter and lowered my head, trying to make sure that the pain would go away. As I lifted my head, a figure was standing in front of me. It was just a dark, shadowy figure. It looked like the blackest of voids. It looked like it was sucking in the light, and it was just completely dark. Everything about him, it was just so unnerving. It was the same figure that I'd been seeing all night. I blinked once, hoping it would go away. It didn't. I tried again. It was still there. I screamed at the top of my lungs, causing my throat to hurt even more. I ran through the broken shards, trying to ignore this pain to escape the eerie figure. I ran upstairs to my room. My throat and my heart was hurting so badly. I realized that the shards did not cause me pain. I was clearly bleeding, but I felt nothing on my feet. Finally reaching my room, I was crying and I was in pain from my throat and chest. I swung open the door and turned on the lights. I stood there staring, clutching my throat. I sunk into so much horror. Trepidation consumed my body from seeing such a sight. The ceiling creaked as a body hanged from it, swaying gently in the middle of the room. I realized it was me, hanging from the ceiling, with a thick rope around my neck. That's right, I'm dead, and death is here to drag me to hell. Did you like it? Did you like it? Nice. Would you like some Desna cookies? Des nuts? That's good one, Scaly. Oh, thank you. Dang, nice sis. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like it. The way we look to see Iora, adorable Firefly. Iora's mind, darkness. That was well written, but also kawaii. That was good. Thank you. Oh, arigato. I'm glad that you guys don't think this is cringy. That's all I care about. I don't want to be cringy, man. Where can we reread these stories? I can post them somewhere. Oh god, I'm shy. Okay, I'm not the best writer in the world, so I'm very... Seriously, that was amazing. Oh, you think so? Domo. Yeah. Oh no, it is cringy, but also cute, so... Younger Iora did great. I've stopped writing. Maybe I should pick it up again. You're better than me at writing. I've read way worse. These are pretty alright. Thank you! You're killing it with these. Thank you so much. Don't worry, as you tell, I like putting the twist at the very end. I used to write them all the time, but like that. The twist will be at the very end. Because I like to hint at what the ending is gonna be, but I like to sway the reader in a different direction. So when they read what's actually happening, it's like, oh, booga booga. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. So, yeah, and then make the reader reread again. Hi. So they're like, oh, so that's what it meant. Ooh. So ganai ne. Uga buga. Wait, what is this? Oh, here's another one. This one's good. This one is called Things That Go Thump in the Night. Some of these are some of these are like don't have titles. I got a horror story. I woke up. Another. Okay, this is the last one. from my Iora's writing, okay? This is the last one. Call me crazy if you want, but every single thump I hear from outside of my room scares me. I might be paranoid. I know that, but I have every right to be. Walking back and forth in my bedroom while I was constantly looking out the window and at the clock, biting my nails and sweating irritably, thinking what they'd do to me if they find me, thinking I'm as good as dead. I know they're looking for me. I know they want me. And I know they'll find me. And I'll... Oh, chill.
That story made my kokora go unga bunga.
Thank you, Billy Jill-san. Thank you. どうもありがとうございます。そうちゃったありがとうございました。I'm sorry. I can't say it. I'm so scared. My palms are all sweaty and I think I'm crying. I heard someone enter my house. It must be them. I know it's them. But I'll fight. Even though I know I'd lose. Even if there's a lot of them. I'm sure. No, don't sneeze! I creaked down the stairs with a baseball bat. It's the only thing I can have. If it was the only weapon I have to defend myself. I looked over the door and I saw a silhouette enter. This isn't going to be easy. It's just one of them, right? He found my sister's dead body. I can't take this anymore. I rushed over to him and beat him up with the baseball bat. Oh no. Oh no. This isn't one of them. It explains why he's all alone. It's my neighbor. He probably heard the noises from my house and came to help and check up on us. I'm sure if it was one of them. I'm sure it wasn't one of them. Because if he was, he would be wearing a uniform and telling me, "You're under arrest." Yeah! Ta-ta! Bada bing, bada boom, baby. You guys like that one? Crazy people. Stabby, stabby. Hi, hi, hi. That was a good one too. Thank you! The real horrors of the world are the things that are real. Neighbor son of woo. Neighbor son. Hello? I guess I'm dead. You didn't have to go hard on this story. Dinkelberg deserved it. Dinkelberg. Hello, Turner. Anyways. Hello, I came back to talk about your car's extended warranty. Anyways, let us end with a final story. One that is also one of my favorites. And is the one that sparked me to make this stream a thing. The Stairs in the Forest. I am a search and rescue officer for the U.S. Forest Service, and I have some stories to tell. I wasn't sure where else to post these stories, so I figured I'd share them here. I've been a SAR officer for a few years now, and along the way, I've seen some things that I think you guys would be interested in. I have a pretty good track record for finding missing people. Most of the time, they just wander off the path or slip down a small cliff and they can't find their way back. The majority of them have heard the old "stay where you are" thing and they don't wander far. But I've had 2 cases where that didn't happen. Both bother me a lot, and I use them as motivation to search even harder on the missing person cases I get called on. The first was a little boy who was out berry picking with his parents. He and his sister worked together and both of them went missing around the same time. Their parents lost sight of them for a few seconds, and in that time both of the kids apparently wandered off. When their parents couldn't find them, they called us, and we came out to search the area. We found the daughter pretty quickly, And when we asked where her brother was, she told us he'd been taken away by the bear. She said as she gave her berries and... Wait, what? She said he gave her berries and told her to be quiet. That he wanted to play with her brother for a while. The last she saw of her brother, he was riding on the shoulders of the bear man and seemed pretty calm. Of course, our first thought this was some sort of abduction. But we never found a trace of another human being in that area. The little girl who was also insistent that he wasn't a normal man. The little girl was also insistent that he wasn't a normal man. But that he was tall and covered in hair like a bear. And that he had a weird face. We searched the area for weeks. It was one of the longest calls I've ever been on. But we never found a single trace of that kid. The other was a young woman who was out hiking with her mom and grandpa. Damn, grandpa got game, jeez. According to the mother, her daughter had climbed up a tree to get a better view of the forest, and she never came back down. They waited at the base of the tree for hours, calling her name before they called her for help. Again, we searched everywhere and we never found a trace of her. I have no idea where she could have possibly gone, because neither her mother or grandpa saw her come down. A few times I've been out on my own searching with the dog. Canine? Yeah, sure. Canine. And they've tried to lead me straight up to cliffs. Not hills. Not even rock faces. Straight, sheer cliffs with no possible handholds. It was always baffling. And in those cases, we usually find the person on the other side of the cliffs, or miles away from where the dog has led us. I'm sure there's an explanation, but it's just kind of strange. Too lazy to name. Hello! Welcome! It's okay, daijoubu. We're about to end this stream with a big story, so we're still relatively in the beginning. But you're good. One particularly sad case involved a recovery of a body. A 9-year-old girl fell down an embankment and got impaled on a dead tree at the base. Oh. It was a complete freak accident. But I never forget the sound of her mother... the sound her mother made when we told her what had happened. She saw the body bag being loaded into the ambulance, and she let the most haunting, heartbroken wail I've ever heard. It was like her whole life was crashing down around her, and a part of her had died with her daughter. I heard from another SAR officer that she killed herself after a few weeks after it happened. She couldn't live with the loss of her daughter. Oh god. I can only imagine losing a kid. I was teamed up with another SAR officer because we'd received reports of bears in the area. Oh god, big bears, very scary. We were looking for a guy who hadn't come home from a climbing trip when he was supposed to, and we ended up having to do some serious climbing to get where we figured him to be. We found him trapped in a small crevice with a broken leg. It was not pleasant. He'd been there for almost 2 days and his leg was very obviously infected. We were able to get him into a chopper, and I heard from one of the EMTs that the guy was absolutely inconsolable. He kept talking about he'd been doing fine and he'd gotten to the top. Wait, what? He kept talking about he'd been doing fine, and when he got to the top, a man had been there. He said the guy had no climbing equipment, and he was wearing a parka and a ski mask. Oh, sorry, ski pants. He walked up to the guy, and the guy turned around. He said he had no face, it was just blank. He freaked out and ended up trying to get off the mountain too fast, which is why he'd fallen. He said he could hear the guy all night, climbing down the mountain and letting out these horrible muffled screams. The story bothered the hell out of me. I'm glad I wasn't there to hear it. That's a little sus. I guess you can call that guy a sussy baka. Sorry. One of the scariest things I've ever happened to me involved the search of a young woman who'd gotten separated from her hiking group. We were out late at night because the dogs had picked up our scent. When we found her, she was curled up in a large rotted log. She was missing her shoes and pack, and she was clearly in shock. She didn't have any injuries, and we were able to get her to walk with us back to the base ops. Along the way, she kept looking behind us and asking us why the big man with black eyes was following us. We couldn't see anyone, so we just wrote it off as some weird symptom of shock. But the closer we got to the base, the more agitated this woman got. She kept asking me to tell him to stop making faces at her. At one point, she stopped and turned around and started yelling into the forest, saying that she wanted him to leave her alone. She wasn't going to go with him, she said, and she wouldn't give us to him. We finally got her to keep moving, but we started hearing these weird noises coming from all around us. It was almost like coughing, but it was more rhythmic and deeper. It was like insect-like. I don't really know how else to describe it. It was really confusing. When we were within the sight of the base ops, a woman turns to me, and her eyes about as wide as I can imagine a human could open them. She touches my shoulder and says, "He says to tell you to speed up. He doesn't like looking at the scar on your neck." Oh. I have a very small scar on the base of my neck, but it's mostly hidden under my collar, and I have no idea how this woman saw it. Right after she says it, I hear this weird coughing right in my ear, and I was just about to jump out of my skin. I hustled her to ops, trying not to show how freaked out I was. But I have to say, I was really happy when we left that area that night. Jeez. Booga booga. This one is the last one I'll tell, and it's probably the weirdest story I have. Now, I don't know if this is true in every SAR unit, but in mine, it's sort of an unspoken rule. Regular thing we run into. You can try asking about it with other SAR officers, but even if they know what you're talking about, they probably won't say anything about it. We've been told not to talk about it by our superiors, and at this point we've gotten all used to it, so it doesn't seem all that weird to me now. On just about every case where we're really far into the wilderness, I'm talking like 30 or 40 miles, at some point we'll find a staircase in the middle of the woods. It's almost like if you took the stairs in your house, cut them out, and pasted them into the forest. I asked about it the first time I saw, and the other officers just told me not to worry about it, and that it was normal. Everyone I asked said the same thing. I wanted to go check them out, but I was told very empathetically that I should never, ever go near any of them. So I just sort of ignored them now. I run into them because it happens so frequently. Alright, part 2. Oh lord. There's 3 parts. So I logged back on here tonight because I was blown away by the staggering amount of interest it seems to have generated. First off, I'll address a few things that you guys have brought up. There's been an overwhelming amount of people mentioning similarity between some of my stories and David Pollides. I assure you, I'm not trying to rip him off in any way. I've got nothing but respect for the guy. He's actually inspired me to write this because I can verify a lot of things he talks about. We do have a lot of strange missing person cases, and most of the time they aren't solved. Either that, or we'll find them in places that they have no business being. I personally haven't been in many calls like that, but I'll share a few that I've seen. Oh, here we go. There's a lot of feedback in the stairs. I'll touch on them briefly, so I'll just include this story. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes, styles, and conditions. Some are pretty dilapidated, just ruins, but others look extremely brand new. I saw one set that looked like it came from a lighthouse. They were just metal and spiral almost old-fashioned. The stairs don't go up infinitely, or rather, just farther than I can see. But most of the sets are just taller than the others. Like I said before, just imagine the stairs in your house as if someone cut it and pasted them into the middle of nowhere. I don't have any pictures, It's never really occurred to me to try again after the first time, and I don't really feel like risking my job over it. I'll try again in the future, but I can't really promise anything. Here we go. Eels. Okay, this one... Should I just skip to the stairs part? Because that's like this spook. Goat man. Alright, these are just normal missing cases, I think. Ah, here we go. I'm not comfort. Oh shit!
Who was phone?
Who was phone? Phone nani? Phone what? Hello? Thank you, Sean, but on what? I'm scared. Please don't scare me. I'm not comfortable about talking where exactly I work, unfortunately. In all reality, some of these things I've mentioned could get me in a lot of trouble or fired. So it's best if I just don't discuss too much. I'll say that I am from the United States, and in an area that is comprised a great deal of a great deal of wilderness. We're talking hundreds of miles of thick forest. There's still a great amount of interest in the stairs, and lucky for you guys, my friend has a story that I think you'll be very interested in. I'll go into that one more at the end of this update. As for whether or not I have ever thought of asking my superiors about them, I have. But again, I don't want to risk my job. However, one of my former superiors no longer works as a SARS officer. And it's possible that we may be willing to talk about it. I'll be speaking to him later this week. Alright, here we go. Aha, here it is. My buddy has been a SAR officer about 7 years now. He started when he was in junior college, and he had a very similar experience when he first encountered the stairs. His trainer told him almost the same thing mine did, which was never to go near, touch, or ascend them. For the first year, he did just that, but apparently his curiosity got the better of him. And on one call, he broke away from the line and went to go check a set of them out. He said they were about 10 miles in the path where a teenage girl had vanished. And... What? And the dogs were following the scent. He was on his own, lagging behind the main group, when he saw a set of stairs to his left. They looked like they were from a new house, because the carpeting was pristine, white. And he said, as he got closer, he didn't feel anything different, or he heard weird noises. He was expecting something to happen, like bleeding from his ears or collapsing, but he got right up next to them and didn't feel anything. The only thing he said was it was odd that there was absolutely no debris on the steps. No dirt, no leaves, no dust, nothing. Completely clean, beautiful stairs. And there didn't appear to be any signs of animal or insect activity in the immediate area, which he found pretty strange. It was less like it was like the animals were avoiding them. Or either that, or it happens to be relatively a barren part of the forest. He touched the stairs and didn't feel anything except that sort of sticky feeling you get from new carpet. Making sure his radio was on, he slowly climbed the stairs. He said it was kind of terrifying because the way they were stigmatized. He wasn't really sure what was going to happen to him. He joked that half of him expected to be teleported to another dimension, and the other half was just watching for a UFO to come swooping down. But he got to the top with little event, and he stood there looking around. But he said the longer he stood at the top, the more he felt like he was doing something very, very wrong. He described it as a feeling you'd get if you were in the part of a government building you have no business in being. As if someone is going to come arrest you or shoot you in the back of the head at any second. Well, that's pretty extreme. Arresting someone versus shooting them at the back of the head. Those are very different. He tried to brush it off, but the feeling got stronger and stronger. And that's where he realized that he couldn't hear anything anymore. The sounds of the forest were gone. He couldn't even hear his own breathing. It was like some sort of weird, awful tinnitus, but more oppressive. He climbed back down and rejoined the search, and didn't mention what he'd done. But he said the weirdest part came after. His trainer was waiting back at the welcome center after the search ended for the day, and he cornered my buddy before he could leave. He said his trainer had this look of intense anger, and he asked what was wrong. "You went up them, didn't you?" My buddy said it wasn't phrased as a question. It's almost as if his trainer knew. The trainer just shook his head. "Because we didn't find her. The dogs lost her scent." My buddy asked what that had to do with anything. The trainer asked how long had he been on the stairs, and my buddy said no more than a minute. The trainer gave him this really awful, almost dead-eyed look and told him that if he ever went up another set of stairs again, he'd be fired immediately. The trainer walked away, and I guess he never answered any of the question my buddy has asked about him since. Yabe. Yabe na! Yabe! Yabe means, danger, or that's bad. Or like, it's dangerous. This is scary? Not really. It's like dangerous. Something like that. There's no direct translation. Because you could also use yabe to describe something as awful. It's just a negative thing. It means like, ooh, oh no. There you go. I guess, oh no. But there has no direct translation. Anything can be a... Yabe is a Japanese slang. When something is cool, it's yabe. When something is dangerous, it's yabe. Anything could be yabe. Yeah, it's the shortening of yabai, which can mean a handful of things, but in this case, it's more dangerous. This kana yabe janai? In other words, I am in danger. Ah, more. My buddy has been involved in a lot of missing person cases where there's never been a trace of them found. I mentioned David Pilates, and my buddy, he can confirm the stories are for the most part accurate. He said most of the time if the person isn't found right away, they're either never found or they're found weeks, months, or even years later in places they can't have possibly gotten to. Ooh, missing 404 stories! Hello guys, and welcome to the strange, dark, and mysterious... Why don't you chokehold the like button for me and slap it around and stab a knife right through him? Just kidding. If you guys know where that reference is, you guys are in the know. Mr. Ball and Gang! Hell yeah, baby! You know. I can hit the like button. No, I want you to chokehold the like button. Pin it down. Sorry. Anyways. Out of one story he told me, one really stood out that involved a 5-year-old boy with a severe mental disability. The little boy vanished from a picnic area in the late fall. In addition to the mental disability, he was also physically handicapped, and his parents explained over and over that he simply could not have vanished. It was impossible. Someone had to take him. Fucking him. My buddy said that they searched for this kid for weeks, going miles out of the accepted range, that it was like he'd never been there. The dogs couldn't pick up a scent anywhere. Not even the picnic area where he'd apparently vanished from. Suspicion fell on the parents, of course, but it was pretty clear that they were devastated and hadn't done anything sinister to their kid. The search was concluded about a month later. And my buddy said everyone had pretty much forgotten about it. Oh wait, what? Everyone had pretty much forgotten it by later in the winter. He was on a training op in the snow, and one of the higher peaks when he came across something in the snow. He said he saw it from far away at first, and when he got closer, he realized it was a shirt, frozen and sticking partway out of the powder. He recognized it as belonging to the kid because it has a distinctive pattern. About 20 yards, he found the kid's body, laying partially buried in the snow. My buddy said that there was no way the kid had been dead for any more than a few days, even though he'd been missing for almost 3 months. The kid was curled around something, and when my buddy brushed off the snow to see what it was, he said he almost couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was a big chunk of ice that had been carved crudely into some sort of person. The kid was holding it so tightly it had frostbite in his chest and hands, which my buddy could tell even with the decay that had taken place. He radioed in the rest of the crew and they took the body off of the mountain. Now he recapped all of this for me, and to simply put it, there was no way this kid could have both survived for almost 3 months on his own or have gotten to this peak. There's no physical way this child would have walked for almost 50 miles and ended up on top of a goddamn mountain. To top it all off, there was nothing in the kid's stomach, or colon. Nothing, not even water. It was like my buddy said, the kid had been taken off the face of the earth and put in suspended animation and dropped in this mountain months later, only to die of exposure. He's never really gotten over that one. Oh, bye-bye, Kampo-san. Yes, minasai. The last story I'll share was from the one that took place relatively recently. They were out doing a recon in the mountain for mountain lions, because there have been several reportings of sightings the last couple of days. One of our jobs is to scout the areas where these animals are seen to ensure that if they are in the area, we can warn people and close off those trails. He was out on his own in a heavily forested part of the park. Part toward dusk when he heard what sounded like a woman screaming in the distance. Now, as most of you know, when a mountain lion screams, it sounds exactly like a woman being brutally murdered. You guys know what mountain lions sound like? You wanna know? Here, this is what he heard. Why does it sound like this? Sounds just like me. I could set this as my alarm. It's unsettling, but far from abnormal. My buddy radioed back and let the ops know he'd heard one, and he was going to see if he could figure out where its territory started. He heard the mountain lion scream a couple times more, always from the same spot, and determined to approximate the area of the mountain lion's territory. He was about to head back when he heard another scream. This time within only a few yards of him. Of course, he freaks out and starts heading back at a much faster pace. Because the last thing he wants is to run into a goddamn mountain lion and get mauled to death. As he got back to the path and started heading back, the scream followed him, and he broke into a jog. When he was about a mile from the ops, the screaming stopped, and he turned around to see if it was following him. It was almost night by this point, and he said in the distance, just before the path rounded in the corner, he could see what looked like a male figure. He called out to them, warning them that the paths were closed, and that he needed to come back to the welcome center. The figure just stood there, and my buddy started to walk over. When he was about 10 yards away, the figure took, as he described, an impossibly long step toward him. Ew! Oh! And let out the same scream my buddy had been hearing. My buddy didn't even say anything. He just turned and sprinted back to the ops, never looking behind him. By the time he got back, the screaming had moved back into the woods. He didn't mention it to anyone else, just that there was a mountain lion in the area, and that they would need to close those paths until the animal could be located and moved. No, no, no. That is suck. That is the big suck. Nigete! Hayaku! Blasted skinwalkers. Oh. Any high-powered weapon would be appreciated. Alright, now... Here we go. Let's see... Stairs, 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 stairs. Wait, what are these? Are these all stairs? Okay, Katie is a vet who's been a SAR officer for about 15 years. She specializes in high-elevation mountain rescues and is widely considered one of the best in her field. She was one of the more enthusiastic storytellers since we were together a fair amount during her exercises. She ended up telling me about 4 stories that really stuck with me. The first one she told me, in response to my asking about her traumatic calls, she shook her head and told me that really bad calls happen more frequently on the mountain, since the potential for nasty accidents is higher. About 5 years ago, one of the parks she worked at had a string of disappearances. It was a bad year, she said, one of the worst on record as far as weather went. They were getting about a foot of new snow every couple of days, and there were avalanches that killed some climbers. Ow! I hit my head on my microphone. They warn people about staying on the mapped areas, but of course, there's always those who don't listen. In one particular nasty case, an entire family got wiped out because the father decided he knew better than the officials, and he took them out in an area that wasn't safe. They were snowshoeing? What is snowshoeing? What is snowshoeing? Do you put snow in your shoes? What the fuck is snowshoeing? No. Snowshoeing. Oh! Oh, okay. Wakata. There's special things you put in your feet to walk on the snow. Ah, no. Okay. They were snow. Okay, hold on. Iora is gonna take a short break because I also really need to go to the bathroom. So, Brian, dozo. I will be back as well. Chotto matte, minasan. Onegai shimasu. The fiend that goes bump in the night. Aw, thank you. Break summer. Hi, 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 hi. EU gang rise up. Hello, EU people. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's quite hard to accommodate EU gang. So, sumimasen deshita if it's quite early for you guys. Thank you! Don Patrono-san, domo arigato for that super chat. Super chat arigatou gozaimashita. No rest for you. I was just chilling, head down, rested, and wah! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyways, where is it? They were snowshoeing, and as best as KD could figure, they walked onto a shelf of snow that looked solid but actually wasn't. It gave way and his family went ass over tea kettle almost 300 feet down a slope. Ouch. They landed on the rocks at the bottom, and the parents died instantly. One of the kids did as well, but the other two survived. One had a broken leg and a fractured rib. The other was almost unharmed, save for the bruising and sprained ankle. The injured child left his sibling behind and set out to find help. Katie said the kid didn't make it more than half a mile before a storm overtook him. Kid stopped to try to get warm or maybe just to rest and ended up freezing to death. They ended up finding the family with the help of some witnesses who saw them heading out into the wilderness. And she said she was the one who found the kid who'd frozen to death looking for help. She said it had started to snow. Just enough to obscure long-distance vision, but not enough to make searching impossible. She saw the figure sitting in the snow up ahead, and she got to it as quickly as possible. She described in detail how she got closer. She realized at first that it was a child, second that they were deceased, and third that they had frozen in one of the most pitiful positions she'd ever found a corpse. The kid was sitting upright with his knees stuck up against his chest, his arms curled around them, and his head was tucked up in his coat. When she moved the coat to look at his face, she saw that he died crying. His face twisted and tears were frozen in his cheeks. She said it was painfully obvious that the kid was terrified when he succumbed to hypothermia, and as a mother, it broke her heart. She told me repeatedly that she hopes the father is burning in hell as we speak. Jeez. Damn, man. Oh god, that's rough. Another traumatic story she told me that stood out in my mind was the one that happened when she was a rookie. Her team got a report of an experienced climber who had come home a few days. His wife was convinced that something bad had happened because he'd never failed to come home on time. They went out looking for him and had to climb what sounded like a very technical, challenging part of the mountain. They got to a relatively flat area, and Katie started seeing blood in the snow. She followed the trail and she went. She started seeing little bits of tissue. She wasn't exactly sure what body part it would come off of, but the further she followed it, the more there was. She follows this blood tissue trail to a sheltered area under a cliff face, and she finds the climber. She said there was so much blood, more than she'd ever seen before. He was lying face down, and one arm stretched in front of him, as if he died crawling. She looks closer and she sees that he's partially disemboweled. What? Which is where the tissue she's seen come from. The guy has an ice pick tucked in his hip holster, and it's covered in blood. Of course, they'll never be sure exactly what happened, but she said the best that she can figure out, this is what went down. The guy had been attempting to climb the next area and had been using his ice axe to ascend. He probably hit a loose patch and had fallen. On the way down, or possibly when he landed, he'd gotten impaled by his own axe, and it had disemboweled him. He dug himself along, tearing pieces of himself, tearing pieces of himself out as he went, and had died under the cliff face. She isn't terribly bothered by gore, but I guess a few of the guys who come to help her remove the body threw up when they turned him over, and a good portion of his intestines spilled out. Ew. Poor dude. If you ever go hiking, I think it would be good to hike in pairs. If you go alone, there's so many bad things that it's just so scary. The outside is scary. That's why I like a nice and safe here down in my basement. Damn, the tacos hit too hard, it seems. This is why I don't go out. High five, Bun Bun. I mentioned to her that I was interested in hearing about experiences that she had people completely disappearing. Her eyes lit up, and she leans in close to me. Wanna hear a real doozy? She asks. She tells me about how when she first started, there was a case that got a lot of attention in media. A family had been out berry picking in the air in the forest very close to the entrance of the park. They had 2 little boys, under the age of 5. And at some point during the day, one of them vanishes. There was an absolutely massive search, and they find absolutely nothing. It's another one of those cases where it's like the kid was never there in the first place. Dogs just sit down and don't pick up anything. No trace of the kid is found. The search goes on for about 2 months, but it's eventually called off. Fast forward 6 months later, the family comes back to place flowers at a memorial that has been set up for the kid. They bring their son. While they're placing the flowers, they lose sight of the kid for about 3 seconds, and in the span of that time, he absolutely vanishes into thin air. Now obviously the parents are beyond devastated. It's obvious enough to lose 1 child, but to lose 2 is beyond imagining. The search is huge. One of the largest in state history. There are about 300 volunteers combing every inch of this park, looking for this kid, but again, there's just no trace of him. The search goes on for about a week, with people looking miles and miles from the part of the park where he vanished. And then, almost 2 weeks later, a volunteer, almost 15 miles from the designated search area, radios in that he's found the kid. They assumed that the kid was dead, but the volunteer says he's not only alive, but he's in absolutely good shape. Katie and her team go out to recover the kid, and when they got there, she can't believe that this kid's been missing. His clothes are clean, there's no dirt on him anywhere, and he doesn't appear traumatized whatsoever. The volunteer says he found the kid sitting on a log, playing with a twig bundle that's bound together with some sort of old rope. Katie asks him where he's been, who's he's with for the past 2 weeks, and the kid tells her that he's been with the fuzzy man. Now, Katie firmly believes in Bigfoot, so she gets all excited and asks what he means by fuzzy. Was he hairy? But the kid says no. He wasn't hairy, he was just a fuzzy man. As he describes a man that's blurry. Like when you close your eyes but not all the way, he says the man came out of the trees and took the kid with the deep into the woods. The kid says he slept in a hollow tree and the fuzzy man gave him berry seed. Katie asks if the man was mean, if he scared the kid, and the kid says, no, he wasn't scary, but I didn't like how he didn't have eyes. Katie says that they got the kid back to headquarters and the cop takes him into town to talk to him more about what happened. She's friends with the cop that talked to him, and she said the kid described being kept in a tree by a fuzzy man and been given berries whenever he was hungry. He was allowed to wander around a very specific clearing, but when he tried to go further, the fuzzy man would get mad and yell real loud even though he didn't have a mouth. Fuzzy man sus. When the kid got scared at night, the fuzzy man made it go brighter and gave him a twig bundle. He said the fuzzy man was going to keep him, but he had to let him go because the kid wasn't the right kind. He either can't or won't elaborate more on that. The cops are just sort of scratching their heads, and the search for his brother renewed with no results. The kid has no idea where his brother might be, and they never find him. Ugh. What kid is the right kind? Maybe the fuzzy man's a little picky with his food, you know? He's like, what's this? Your blood type is not the blood type that I like. Oh god, your type, oh, get away from me. Alright, let's see. Oh, jeez, this one is really... Part 5! There is so many parts to this, I forgot. Why is this NSFW? What? Okay, this is getting a little wrong. We'll read one more. One more from the stairs. What kind of SCP is that? Oh, I don't eat kids that play Pokemon. Something like that, probably. What's that? You smell like Mega Blocks instead of Legos. Get out of here. Based fuzzy man. Gotta go, boss. It's getting late. Naruto, wakarimashita. Take care, Lake. I hope you have a good day. Or the rest of the day, rather. If you're going to sleep, have a good night's rest. Screw Mega Blocks. I don't eat Fortnite's kids. They're too salty. Oh, he would hate to have me around then. Alright, let's pick one. Let's see. This one. A firefighter who was helping us at the training op told me about a call he'd gone on, supposedly to help rescue a kid from an absolutely massive tree. He said that he didn't give any details, that they just needed him to come out there because they lacked the proper equipment. He'd been called out specifically because there was this thing that was so huge that the SARS didn't feel safe trying to climb. He'd been a tree trimmer before joining the VFD, so it was easy enough for him to grab his old equipment and come help out. He was led out 2 miles and the team stopped one of the biggest trees in the area and pointed up. He laughed and asked the op captain how the kid had gotten up there. Made some joke about the old cat in the tree thing. The captain just shook his head and told him to get up there and get the kid down. He said he knew something was up, but he didn't push it. He said that he climbed a tree. As he climbed this tree, he was starting to wonder if they were playing a prank on him. There is no way this kid could have gotten up here, able to climb a fucking thing as massive as this. About halfway up, it started tapering, and I almost had to turn back a few times because I really didn't think it was gonna hold me. But he said he kept going, and when he was about to reach the top, he saw a flash of blue in the branches. I saw the kid's shirt tore off, caught up in a branch, and I called out to him and told him to come near me if he could, but he didn't say anything. I kept moving, calling the kid's name, telling him not to be scared. That I was there to help him, but by the time I got to him, I knew he wasn't going to answer me. I found him, or at least what's left of him, cradled in a fork branch, and the fact that he was up there was sheer luck. If he'd fallen any other way, he'd come crashing down. It wouldn't have mattered though, because this kid was dead long before he ended up in the tree. I don't know who put him there, or how, or why, but it was fucking sick. Oh no. This kid's bowels had popped out of his mouth, and they were hanging in the branches. How did you not see this before climbing up? It was like some sort of sick fucking Christmas tree. The way they were draped all over everything. I got a better look and saw they've even thawed out of his behind. His guts were hanging out of the bottom of his pants. Eyes were gone. I assume shoved out from whatever force caused him to fucking pop like a stress ball. You ever seen... Wait, what? You ever seen a body that's been floating in the water for a long time? How their tongues kind of swell up and stick out? His was like that. I remember because there were flies crawling all over it. Ew. I think I must have gone into shock because, man, I just pushed that kid down with a stick. I broke off a branch, just kind of poked him until he fell. I don't know why I did that. I almost lost my job because of it. But man, the thought of hauling that kid down over my shoulder the whole way, gathering his guts up and coiling them around me like rope so they wouldn't get snagged, I just couldn't do it. I've seen a lot of dead kids, more than I'd ever admit. I've seen a kid who'd hid in a full bathtub during a house fire, boiled him alive, turned him to literal soup, but this... I don't know what did this, but the thought of touching the kid's body made me feel like I was gonna lose my mind. I heard him hit the ground and I figured everyone would freak out, but they knew he was dead when he sent me up there. They didn't say anything, but they didn't shout or freak out or anything. I got to the bottom and started to get up in the captain's face, asking who he thought who was sending me up there when they knew damn well the kid was dead. But he just told me it was none of my concern, and thanked me for getting the evidence down. I remember he said that. I remember specifically because it was so weird to hear it phrased that way. Phrased that way. The evidence. Like he wasn't a real person. Like he'd never been a little kid who got lost and had something fucking unspeakable happen to him. That captain had a crew lead me back to the woods, but he and 2 others stayed behind, and I thought that was weird. Why wouldn't they have helped me get the kid out? I was trying to ask, but these guys leading me just told me they couldn't discuss the open case. I asked him what he thought about what happened to the kid, and he just got really pensive and thought about it for a bit. I would have said a crush injury based on how his guts came out like that, but those injuries you see in massive contusions under the skin, obvious trauma. This wasn't like that. It was almost like the kid got caught up in a big vacuum and his guts sucked out. Had his guts sucked out. But even then, there was no trauma. None at all. It bothers me, man. Bothers the hell out. There you go! Mina-san, I hope you enjoyed today's stream of spooky, scary stories of all sorts. That is a horrifying image. Yes, that is. So, guys, which one was your favorite story for today? 10 out of 10? I'm glad you enjoy it. It's obviously a vacuum monster. Oh no! The escalator? Clearly Doom, the fuzzy man. This was real fun. Oh, no, this was amazing, even though I came 30 minutes late. 10 out of 10 stream. Ah, thank you for letting me down. Don't worry. Base the blurry man. Let's end it on a lighter note. I like where the neighbor got bonked. Yay! That one's mine. That was great, boss. Your voice does story really well. You think so? Is that annoying? Fuzzy man was interesting. Oh, naruhodone. Would you guys like a part 2? It is still October. It was pretty spooked out. I don't mind doing these. I like reading. Very interesting. And I like that I'm able to share it with you guys. Yes, please. Yes, please. Part 2 would be great. Okay. We'll do another part. I promise. We'll do another one. Hopefully I'll be able to be there. Okay, since we're all here, I am planning on doing a little something called Squid Game. I really enjoy the Star Stories. That was really cool. Thank you, thank you. Something for your spare time. Look up the Magnus archives. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Oh yeah. Next week, please, so I can watch it live. Hi. Most like it's gonna be next week. I think. Yes, Sunday next week. So today next week, technically. But for the members who are in the chat, hello. I'm planning on playing Squid Game with you all before I stream it next week. Just to like test it out, see how it is. Squid Games. Oh no, I'm in danger. Don't worry, Sean. You're fine. No!
It was a fun stream, Iora. Another spooky stream this month would be fun.
Awesome! Thank you so much, Billy-do-san! どうもありがとうございます。ショバチャット、スーチャット、ありがとうございました。Yes, definitely we're gonna do this again. Because I really like... I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot. Besides, I skipped through so many SRA stories. So there's still quite a bit. I think there's like part 6 now. Part 6 or part 7? I'm pretty sure this is like freaking an hour long. Yep, there's part 7 here. Squid Robot, this today, next week. Cause like, for me it's Sunday. Some of you it might be Saturday for some of you, so that's when the Squid Game is gonna be out. I'm planning to just like send the room code so everybody can join. Cause you don't have to be a member to be able to join. You just need a Roblox account because we're playing it on Roblox. Yeah, it took me 3 hours to read it, but I enjoyed reading it. Hi. Okay, so there is 8 parts, and we've screamed through a lot of them, so don't worry. There's definitely gonna be a part 2. I really enjoy these stories as well. Maybe even...
Great stream. Very yucky, but still entertaining.
Thank you! Angie, the music fan! I'm glad you enjoyed it. Maybe we can even dabble on missing 404 cases. Although those ones, I don't really... should we do that? Those ones are real. At least as far as I know, they're quite... The cases are real. Maybe exaggerated here and there, but the cases are real. So that's a different kind of horror. Nothing is scarier than real life. So, I'd like to say that thank you everybody to coming to this stream. Thank you so much. I was kind of nervous about it, not gonna lie. I was preparing all of these things last night. And I hope you like our new little scene, a little glimpse of Iora's basement. But thank you all so much. And to those who donated, of course, thank you all for the super chat. It really does help me keep streaming and making more content for you guys. I'm really excited to hang out next week again. But for now, I hope you all have a good one. Oh no. What is that sound? What? What is it? What it? ちょっと皆さん. Hold on. You guys hear something? I'm not the only one who hears that, right? What is that sound? Nani sore? Do you guys not hear that? Hold on.
Fun stream, good stories, and cute narrator 10 out of 10.
Thank you, Sean-san! どうもありがとう! For the super chat, ありがとうございました. Thank you. But you guys seriously don't hear that? Are you guys pranking me? Huh? BGM's too loud. Hold on, let me stop it then. Hold on. There you go. Let me lower it. You hear it? What does it sound like? It's like... It sounds like... Pitter-patter. Rather. Like, clickety-clack. Minasan? Minasan? I'm not going insane, right? Footsteps. No, not footsteps. Just like light tapping. Like, no, not like that. Not like that. Like, here, let me grab. Here, like kind of like this. Like, more tapping sound, but it's like high-pitched tapping. No, it's not my mechanical keyboard. My mechanical keyboard is Saki. Is it raining? No, it's not. Minasan, ちょっと待ってね。ちょっと待ってね。I'm a little scared. What is that sound? Hello? Oh, I can hear the dog. Can you guys hear the dogs at least? Rapping, tapping in your chamber door. Can you guys hear the dogs at least? That is quite sussy. Hold on. It's coming from here. What is that sound? Hold on. What the dog doing? Nani sore ga? I can seriously hear. Sounds like. It kind of sounds like walking. Like, there's like walking and there's like a clicky sound. If that makes sense. Nani sore ga? Kinda spooky. でも大丈夫だよ。Are you here? Are you listening to no sleep stories? I don't know. I just hear it. But I think I what? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I think I know. I think I know where the sound is coming from, Mina. Mina-san! I think I know! Okay. Please like, comment, and subscribe! And, please... No, not again. Not again, please. Not this again! Please, YouTube's not. Listen. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you all so much for coming to the day stream. There, I did it. Okay. YouTube, please. Okay. YouTube. That's the real scary story of the day, isn't it? Okay. Almost forgot. Anyways, minasan! Domo arigato for coming to the day stream. Thank you all so much. Thank you. If you guys really enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like for part 2. So anyways, Mina, thank you! Thank you, everybody. I'll see you all next time. Remember, as always, I love you all. Johnny! Mata ashita ne! は素晴らしき世界に今日も乾杯。街に飛び交う悪い声も見て見ぬふりしてるだけで作りもんさ。日が暮れそうだ。クラクラするほどにいい匂いがスンと刺した鼻の奥。目を覚まそう本のままや今日は誰の番だ。この世界で何ができるのか。僕には何ができるのか。ただその真っ黒な目から涙いった気もしちゃうように。あ、願う未来ね。なんででもすっと食らいつくこの間違いだらけの世界の中。君には笑ってほしいからもうどれもくっつけない。強く強くなりたんだよ。僕が僕でいられるよ。レンテレンテンテンポンプレモントンプレモンプレテンテンプレレンテンじゃあねみんな。